Hello, everyone. I'm here to talk to you about some collections from Spring Air. Two you already have, and a new addition, and some additions to those collections. One of the most successful collections we've ever introduced is the Arctic beds. As you well know, they've sold tremendously. They're pocket coil systems, 720 units, fantastic units, fully foam encased, a great bed in itself. But we have a unique addition to this is the cool surface. This is what people see right away. And I've talked in the past, if people can see and feel a difference, they'll pay the extra money. This is a cool cover, but that's not all that it is. I've seen a lot of beds out there that just have a cool cover, but they aren't really cool. These are. And the reason for not only is the cover cool, but the fibers that back it have been treated also. So when you lay on one of these beds, I don't care if you're in jeans or whatever, you feel it right through your clothes. You'd feel it through sheets and so on. That's the difference. If it doesn't have the backing of the fibers, it's not going to do any good. The cover won't. Here, they feel it right away. They see it. And if they question you, like for example, well, what if you put a blanket on it? Flip this back. Tell them to feel that. It's just as cool after this thick blanket has been on it for forever. The point is they can see it, feel it, and a lot of people sleep hot. So these cool beds are great, and we generally introduce these beds, something unique and different like this, on an upper end bed. We put these in here at $8.99. Fantastic price point. No one out there has anything like it at these price points. That has been a huge introduction with the firm and plush. We decided to build on that based on y'all's requests. Let's add another bed. Let's add a pillow top, a true pillow top with the Arctic covers. Again, the fibers, a softer, plusher feel, and a real pillow top. Gonna get the look and feel, and it's $100 more. So now you have a $9.99 pillow top you didn't have before, with all the Arctic features that you have. So this is a stunning bed. I saw one sold just the minute it was put on the floor. This is something different, and we've added to our arguably one of the greatest introductions we've ever had in this series. So now you have the Arctic series, which no one else has. No one has beds cooler than this. These are exclusive to y'all. Now, we have a second collection, but I wanted to remind you, these beds are in the top 5, 6 selling beds in your chain. We have another collection that's been hugely successful. And I've talked about this before, did a video on them, nuts and bolts here. This is the double-sided beds that you see. This is Serenity and Haven. The beauty of this here, trying to step up from one to the other. These are single-sided cool gel, but here you have a double-sided bed. This is probably the biggest growing area we have in our business right now is the double-sided beds because so few companies have them. Right now, the number one selling bed in the chain, right here, number one selling bed at $10.99 is the Haven. I'm telling you what happens a lot with pillow tops. When we first introduced them, there were people who strictly wanted pillow tops. They do, and that's all they want. But what's happened is 7 out of 10 of these beds now are sold to people who did not want a pillow top or did not come asking for one, a double-sided, and did not ask for one. But we showed them the bed. They've fallen in love with the Haven, being extra firm. And then we hit them with this. This is a double-sided bed. It's like you can see the look on their face. It's like a huge bonus. They say, well, they all pretty much know if you got a double-sided bed and you flip it, it's going to last a long time. And that's just a fact. So here we have a Haven, number one selling bed in the chain. The same unit is in these beds, pocket coil, but an all-season story. Cool on one side, warm on the other with a silk and wool. You step up to the Serenity, the same Serenity as the other bed, same price, $10.99. Well, here's where things started to change. We introduced the dual hybrids. So basically, we wanted a double-sided bed that was also a hybrid. Basically, a hybrid is adding cool gel memory foam to an inner spring. And this is what people really like now. They love the idea of having them both because if you have the cool gel on an inner spring, it's cooler than on a full foam bed. So now we have the dual hybrids. These are coming in at $14.99. They're thicker, plusher, cooler. and our hybrids. And hybrids, give you more conformability, more durability in these beds. So the step up's there, but we had a little kind of gap here. We wanted to bridge it. And we came up with a version of this bed. It's thicker and plusher, but it's a Euro top. I'm sorry, this one over here. It's same specs as these beds, but it's a Euro top double-sided bed, but it's ultra plush. For the people who really want a soft bed, here's the bed. But again, soft works great. It makes a huge difference. I think pillow top, and I've already seen this sold right off the bat too. We needed a step up. We needed that bridge from $10.99 between $10.99 and $14.99. This is $12.99. Completely different feel, different look than the starting best sellers. And then I just want you to view. These are the hybrids. Obviously, a very physical difference in the thickness. Again, a choice of plush and full, plush and firm. So I think the hybrid story is really what's hot now, and it justifies the cost of moving up another couple $100 to get the hybrid versions of the all seasons beds. These are your best-selling collection right now. This is where most of the growth is in the double-sided beds. And guess what? Schewel's has the largest selection of double-sided beds in any market you're in, period. I would play that up because no one else has it. Now, I mentioned earlier a new collection. This is so different and so, I don't know how to best describe it. Probably the first modern bed that's changing the dynamics of sleep. And this is the Copper Collection. The Copper Collection is going to have a firm and plush choice, but also a Euro top. Now, what happens with the Copper? This has the new 875 unit heavy duty, tri-zone, more in the middle, which is our story forever. Heavy duty foam encasement, 18 slat box. In other words, the strongest box on the market today. So it kind of makes it a heavy duty bed in the sense that that's not where it lies. All these beds feel great. They are hybrids, but there's a distinct difference. You notice the cover, it's copper. We call it copper. Copper threads, copper this. Underneath the surface, again, going back to what I was talking about, the Arctic beds, is that fiber, which makes a difference. It is ionized with 30% copper in that. The memory foam underneath that is 30% copper. Now, why is it copper? Copper does two things. It's anti-inflammatory. In other words, all pain comes from inflammation. So what copper does is it takes some of that inflammation away. So when I'm laying on a copper bed, it's helping me sleep because it's a great bed, which is what we want to do, but it's also healing to a certain extent. The pain that I get from, say, an inflammation or arthritis in my case is going to be helped ease by the copper in this bed. Now, that's one thing it does, but it also does, it's antimicrobial, antibacterial. It kills every germ and bacteria within 24 hours. Now, if you're like me, you probably caught COVID at one point. I caught it twice. First time I caught it, I was laying in my bed. I got up and I was sick. And, I went to the other end of the house. What I should have done was let my wife go to the other end of the house because the bed was infected. Now, with this bed, that takes care of all those germs, infections that may come up. It helps you sleep. I was doing a meeting the other day, and this gentleman had a father who had had a kidney transplant. And so the medicine he took made him highly allergic to just about everything. He said, I got to get my dad one of these coppers. And I said, well, if he has a problem, he's diabetic also. I said, this actually helps with insulin absorption. But what I'm getting at here on the copper is taking it to a different level. Not just sleeping well, which we managed to get to with a lot of our great beds, but sleeping wellness while you sleep. Make sense? This is the wave of the future. You're going to see more beds in the future that have effects that help you with your health, other than just sleeping well. Wouldn't be surprised in a few years you see hospitals with this type of bed because it makes a difference in your everyday life. Why not try to heal while you're sleeping? This is what copper does. There is nothing else out like it. I did see, just like a cool cover, I saw a copper cover one time, and that was it. There was nothing in the back. Here, You have proven facts that copper works. This is unique. There's nothing else out there like that. And my point to you is if you come into a Schewel store, most of these companies around you selling beds have pretty much the same stuff. Copper, you're not going to find copper somewhere else. It's unique. There's nothing else like it. It justifies the cost. Again, going back to what I said, how can I justify spending another $300-400? With copper, it's easy. That's the thing. Now, I would recommend these to anyone who has any kind of issues. They're great, but I do have some other. The other reps are going to go into high detail on each of these features and benefits. I'm just sort of highlighting it. Those will be coming on all the additional medical features of these beds and the wellness aspect of it, and any other features come up. Look for those, and I will appreciate all your business.